History does not pity the fool who chooses the wrong woman. That is the unspoken law every man eventually learns. But most learn it when it's already too late, standing over the grave of their own potential, wondering how the hell they let their kingdom fall without firing a single shot. You see, the world will never warn you. Your mother won't. Your friends can't. And society, it profits from your blindness. But Machiavelli knew. He knew that behind every destroyed man was not fate, not bad luck, not tragedy, but the wrong woman he foolishly let inside his life. And while the masses sell you dreams of loyalty, love, and happily ever after, Machiavelli whispers the truth. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. You're not here to be entertained. You're here to survive. And what I'm about to tell you, no one else will dare to say aloud. There are only two types of women in this world: beneficial and destructive. That's it. No shades, no may, no gray area. You are either upgrading your life by choosing her, or you are slowly killing yourself by letting her stay. And here's the cruel reality. Most women today have mastered the art of appearing beneficial while being nothing but parasites in disguise. Yes, I said it. You can sugarcoat it if you want, but that won't stop your life from burning down around you when you choose wrong. This is not about hate. This is not about war. This is about strategy. Because Machiavelli taught us, he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. That someone has always been the weak man who refuses to think before he feels. So here's your first commandment. Never choose based on appearance alone. Never. She can be the most beautiful woman you've ever seen, but if her mind is empty, her values are rotten, and her loyalty is for sale to the next highest bidder, you are not looking at a queen. You are looking at a polished poison. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Are you hearing me? Few will ever dare to look beyond beauty. But the real man, the strategic man, he looks deeper. He sees the woman's patterns, her choices, her loyalties, her respect for discipline. He watches how she moves when no one is looking, how she speaks about people who aren't in the room, how she treats waiters, family, herself. Because men who lose everything almost always ignored these small signals. You don't just stumble into a beneficial woman. You select her, you test her, you observe her like a general studies the terrain before battle. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Stop being the fool who waits until he's trapped. You don't get to complain later if you ignored the warnings now. And let me tell you the second commandment. Never select a woman who does not respect masculine authority. Period. If she sees your strength as a threat instead of a shelter, leave. If she competes with your leadership instead of complementing it, leave. If she challenges your vision but offers no wisdom, leave. Because a woman who cannot respect masculine order will turn your life into feminine chaos. This is how kings fall. This is how legacies die. You are not here to save her. You are not here to fix her. You are here to build. And building requires alignment, not opposition. Machiavelli warned that men who fail to secure their power soon become slaves to the very forces they once tried to tame. You think you can handle her drama. You think you can manage her disrespect. You think love will fix it. No, it won't. Because she knows something you don't. You've already chosen her. And now she holds the power you handed over like a fool. Power is never something you negotiate in a relationship. You either possess it or you forfeit it. And most men in their desperation to be loved hand over their power wrapped in velvet words like compromise, understanding, and partnership. Noble words, beautiful lies. Machiavelli was ruthless in exposing this fantasy. It is much safer to be feared than loved if you have to choose between the two. You hear that? If you must choose, because in the real world, love without respect is slavery with a smile. And the man who lets a woman rule him in the name of peace is no different from the puppet king wearing a crown made of tin while his kingdom rots behind closed doors. If you want to know who she really is, observe her reaction to your boundaries. Tell her no. Watch how she responds. Cut off her access to your time, your money, your attention. Listen to the silence that follows. Will she respect your distance? Or will she manipulate you back with tears, guilt, and empty promises? You see, most women today have been trained by a weak society to believe that men exist to serve their endless emotional appetites. And most men desperate to keep the peace serve on their knees. But you are not most men. Not after this. Your third commandment is this. Watch how she handles boredom. Because every woman is on her best behavior when she's entertained, when she's receiving gifts, when the attention is endless. But boredom is where true character is revealed. Does she create value in silence? Or does she seek chaos to feel alive? Does she sit with patience, or does she ignite petty arguments just to feel important again? Because the woman who cannot master her emotions in boredom will destroy your life when real trials begin. You want a woman who brings peace, not a ticking time bomb that explodes every time reality gets quiet. And then there's the lie you've heard all your life. That a high body count doesn't matter. That her past is none of your business. That you're insecure if you care. Machiavelli would laugh in your face. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Men today have been fooled into believing that a woman's history has no impact on her loyalty. But history is the only predictor you have. A woman who has betrayed others before you is not starting fresh with you. She's sharpening her knife while you look the other way. Watch her past because it's screaming your future. The fourth commandment, never invest in a woman whose values you do not share. You're a man with a vision, or at least you should be. And a man with a vision does not marry lust. He aligns with mission. Your mission. If she mocks your discipline, if she rolls her eyes at your ambition, if she cares more about social media than your legacy, leave. I don't care how good she looks in a dress. I don't care how sweet she sounds when she wants something. Because here's the truth you refuse to swallow. The wrong woman will cost you your destiny. And no amount of pleasure is worth the graveyard of your potential. And finally, here's the commandment. No man wants to hear, but every man must obey. If she does not fear losing you, she will never truly value you. That's the coldest law of all. The woman who believes you'll always be there. No matter what, no matter how far she disrespects you, no matter how much she stops adding value, that woman will slowly grow to despise you. Why? Because what costs nothing is worth nothing. And Machiavelli knew this better than anyone. Men should be either caressed or crushed. And women by their nature will do the same to you. If she cannot lose you, she will crush you. If she fears losing you, she will rise to meet you. Men who are feared are not cruel. They are respected because their absence means something. So stop being so available. Stop rewarding bad behavior with more attention. Stop begging for scraps when you should be commanding loyalty. The man who is willing to walk away owns the power. Always has, always will. It's easy to preach these truths. It's much harder to live them because to live them, you must first kill the fool inside you. The romantic fool, the desperate fool, the boy who still believes love alone can conquer a woman's nature. You've been trained to think that your sincerity will save you, that your loyalty will change her, that your devotion will make her stay. It won't. This is why so many men are broken today. Not by women, but by their own illusions about women. Machiavelli was merciless with men who refused to face reality. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. And make no mistake, fear holds more power than love. Always has, always will. The woman you can't walk away from is the woman who owns you, and she knows it. Watch how differently a woman treats the man she knows she could lose. Her tone softens. Her loyalty sharpens. Her chaos shrinks. But the man who makes himself endlessly available, he gets the opposite. She grows colder. She grows bolder. She tests him not because she's evil, but because female nature does not trust what it does not respect. And a man who refuses to protect his value is not a man worth following. Let me make it clearer than ever before. The most dangerous woman in a man's life is the one who sees him as an emotional provider, but not as a leader. You think she loves you because she vents to you, because she cries on your shoulder, because she tells you her fears, but pay attention. Does she follow your guidance? Does she submit to your leadership? Does she rise when you raise the standard? If not, you are not her king. You are her emotional trash can, and she will use you until she finds a man she actually respects. You think that's harsh? Good. Let it burn. Because that pain you're feeling right now is what will wake you up. You see, most men try to negotiate respect. They try to earn it by doing more, by bending further, by shrinking themselves. Fools. Machiavelli warned us. One who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. And you have deceived yourself long enough. Respect is never negotiated. It is commanded. And if you have to beg for it, you've already lost it. So how do you command it? By living as though you are willing to lose her at any moment. Because the man who fears loss becomes her servant. But the man who embraces loss becomes her obsession. She will test you. She will push you. She will try to see if you are all bark and no bite. You must bite. You must walk. You must disappear. Not to punish her, but to remind her that you are a man who values himself more than he fears her absence. Let me give you the most overlooked step of all. Watch her relationship with other men, not just her exes, not just her male friends. Watch how she speaks about men in general. Does she admire masculine strength, or does she mock it? Does she speak highly of her father, her brothers, her mentors? Or does she carry bitterness, resentment, and sarcasm toward men who have led before you? Because here's the truth. A woman who secretly despises men will never fully submit to you. She may act sweet in the beginning, but her bitterness will surface. It always does. And when it does, you'll realize you married a competitor, not a companion. Machiavelli wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." Her words mean nothing if her patterns don't align. Do not marry potential. Do not invest in promises. Invest in patterns. If her life before you was chaos, it will not magically become peace with you. If her habits were lazy before you, they will not suddenly become disciplined beside you. You are not the exception. You are the next fool if you ignore what's right in front of you. Let me tell you why most men ignore all of this. Because deep down you want to believe you're the one who can change her. You think your love is special. You think your patience will finally crack the code. You think if you stay long enough she'll wake up one day and realize you're the prize. She won't. You're not her father. You're not her therapist. You're not her God. You are a man, and the man's time is his life. Every minute you waste trying to reform a woman who refuses to change is a minute you rob from your future self. Machiavelli said it best. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. And every second you delay cutting ties with the wrong woman, you are living as the fool. Here's something you won't hear in any motivational video. No woman on earth is your purpose. Not one. Your purpose is your mission, your discipline, your kingdom. A woman is either an asset to that purpose or she is a liability. And most men flip this equation upside down. They make the woman the purpose, the center, the reason they wake up in the morning. And when she senses this, she loses all respect for him. Why? Because women do not trust men who orbit them. Women trust men who orbit nothing but their mission. This is why the same woman who disrespects one man will worship another. The difference isn't the woman. The difference is the man's frame. So here's your next brutal lesson. Never choose a woman who cannot thrive in your absence. You want to know who she really is? Step back. Watch how she lives without you. Does she collapse into chaos or does she rise in discipline? The woman who requires constant attention, constant validation, constant babysitting, she will be your death. But the woman who multiplies in your absence, who holds the line when you're gone, who respects the mission even when you're not watching, that is a woman worth keeping. Machiavelli warned that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. And in relationships, this means one thing. You must be willing to make her uncomfortable in the name of your standards. If she crosses a boundary, you call it out immediately. If she disrespects your time, you withdraw it. If she tests your strength, you show her the door, not because you are cruel, but because you are a man who protects the empire you are building. If you bend once, you will bend forever. And she knows this. Here's the next commandment. Select a woman whose presence strengthens your discipline, not weakens it. A woman who encourages your laziness, who tempts you to skip the gym, who laughs when you say no to distractions. That woman is setting you up for failure. She may smile while doing it. She may call it love, but it's treason. Because a real woman, a beneficial woman, is your ally in discipline. She sharpens you. She challenges you to rise higher. She holds you to your word. She doesn't beg you to stay soft. She dares you to stay sharp. And let me say something to the man who's already trapped. To the man listening right now thinking, but I've already chosen wrong. It's not too late, but it will cost you everything you've built around that mistake. Your pride, your time, maybe even your money. But ask yourself this, what is more expensive, leaving now or dying slowly for the next 20 years? Because make no mistake, the wrong woman will drain you until there's nothing left. And when you're empty, she will leave anyway. Because nature has no sympathy for the man who refuses to lead himself. Machiavelli knew that people respect what they fear losing. And if she doesn't fear losing you, it means you've already taught her you have no spine. But that changes today. You are not here to be a footnote in her story. You are here to be a kingdom builder. And the kingdom you build will either be strengthened or destroyed by the woman you let into it. The problem with most modern men isn't that they're weak. It's that they've been trained to believe their weakness is compassion, that letting everything slide is tolerance, that enduring disrespect is love. But Machiavelli stripped this delusion down to its naked truth. A prince who is not himself wise cannot be wisely advised. Meaning what? Meaning if you are weak, you will only ever attract voices that encourage your weakness. This is why men who have no standards seem to collect the most chaotic women. You thought you were just unlucky. You thought you kept meeting the wrong ones. No, you didn't. You invited them in. You allowed them to stay. You chose them because your weakness called to their chaos like a flame calls to moths. And now you're here listening to this because you're starting to wake up. Let me hit you with something that may offend you, but it needs to be said. You are exactly where you deserve to be. Whatever woman you have in your life right now, whether she's a blessing or a curse, you selected her, maybe through carelessness, maybe through desperation, maybe because you were bored, but you made the choice. And until you face that brutal truth like a man, you will keep repeating the same cycle, blaming women, blaming society, blaming bad luck. Enough. Take ownership. Because Machiavelli's lessons are only useful to the man who is ready to stop playing the victim. Here's what most men do. They wait for a perfect woman to just show up. They do nothing to build their own value. They do nothing to sharpen their judgment. They float through life hoping they'll feel when it's right. But feelings are liars. Women have mastered the art of triggering the feelings you crave. Validation, comfort, intimacy. But here's the final law. And if you forget all else, remember this. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see a thing, but few can understand it. You have eyes, but do you have insight? Do you have the courage to sit across from a beautiful woman and see through the act? Do you have the strength to walk away when your body screams to stay? Because real men choose based on wisdom, not hunger. Based on alignment, not addiction. Based on long-term strategy, not short-term lust. And here is the final commandment. Test her loyalty in your absence before you trust her in your presence. Any woman can act right when you're watching. The true test is who she becomes when you're not. Does she keep your name clean when you're not in the room? Does she reject the attention of other men without you having to police her? Does she live by your standards when there's no reward for doing so? Or does she drift the moment your back is turned? Because the woman who cannot be trusted when you're gone is the same woman who will betray you when you're at your weakest. Do not apologize for setting high standards. Do not apologize for walking away when she fails to meet them. You are not here to settle. You are not here to gamble with your future. You are here to build. And if she cannot build with you, she will tear you down. Not because she is evil, but because that is the law of nature. Machiavelli warned rulers to fortify their cities, to secure their gates, to control their borders. Why? Because kingdoms fall when outsiders gain unchecked access to what must be protected. And you, my brother, are a kingdom. Your time, your energy, your resources, your purpose, they are your fortress. Guard them like your life depends on it. Because it does. And now you must understand the final game being played against you. The illusion of endless options. Modern society has sold you a lie that women are everywhere, that you should keep swiping, keep chasing, keep lowering your standards because there's always another one coming. But Machiavelli knew better. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their inheritance. And nothing bankrupts a man faster than chasing women who bring nothing but debt to his mind, his spirit, and his future. The truth is this: most women today are not worth selecting. And you know it deep down. You feel it. You see it. You experience it every time you open your phone and see women competing for likes, but not for legacy. Women performing for strangers, but refusing to perform as a worthy partner to a man with a mission. Yet you keep telling yourself to settle, to compromise, to tolerate. Why? Because you're scared to be alone. But here's the final blow you must accept. Better alone than with the wrong woman. Because the wrong woman will not just waste your time. She will strip you of the very thing that makes you a man. Your edge, your clarity, your purpose. Look around. Look at the men you once admired who fell in the arms of a woman who never truly respected them. Look at their faces now tired, drained, silent. That's your future if you ignore this message. That's where you end up if you trade your principles for comfort. Because while you're entertaining the wrong woman, the right one is walking past you, watching you degrade yourself, watching you shrink your standards, watching you sell your future for nothing more than temporary attention. You must become a man who is willing to suffer the loneliness of waiting for the right woman rather than bowing to the convenience of the wrong one. Machiavelli taught rulers to sacrifice the easy path for the path of power. The ends justify the means, and the end for you is your legacy, your peace, your purpose. The means, ruthless, disciplined selection. Because every woman you allow in your life is either sharpening your sword or dulling your edge. There is no neutral woman. There is no harmless choice. The woman you choose will either multiply your life or multiply your misery. She will either pour fuel on your fire or drain every drop of your ambition. She will either stand beside you like a fortress or tear you apart like a silent enemy within your gates. This is not paranoia. This is historical reality. Kings have fallen not by armies, but by the woman they trusted most. Great men have been reduced to nothing, not by their enemies, but by the woman they allowed into their bed, into their mind, into their kingdom. And let me tell you the brutal irony. The woman you failed to choose wisely will be the one you spend your life explaining to everyone else. You'll tell your friends you didn't know. You'll tell your family it just happened. You'll tell yourself it wasn't that bad. But deep down, you'll know. You'll know you saw the signs. You'll know you heard this very message and ignored it. And when your kingdom burns, no one will come to put out the fire because no one saves a man from his own cowardice. Machiavelli didn't write for men who wanted to be liked. He wrote for men who wanted to win. And if you truly want to win, if you truly want to build a life worth defending, then you must choose like a ruler, not like a fool. You must test like a king, not like a beggar. You must stand ready to walk away, not because you're cold, but because your mission is too great. Your purpose is too valuable, and your time is too limited to waste on anyone who does not multiply what you are building. And now you stand at the edge of a decision that will define you, not just as a man, but as a builder of legacy or as the next forgotten casualty of weakness. You've heard the warnings. You felt the truth burning inside your chest. You know without a doubt that your future depends on how you select the woman beside you. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now. Because the moment you lower your standard, the moment you ignore what you've heard tonight, the moment you settle for entertainment over alignment, you set the timer on your own destruction. I am not here to comfort you. I am here to wake you up. Because comfort is what got you here. You tolerated what should have been unacceptable. Comfort is what has turned kings into beggars, warriors into servants, visionaries into forgotten men who tell themselves it'll get better, while knowing deep down it never will. Not with her. Not with that kind of woman. And here's the last law you must burn into your mind. You do not rise by being lucky with women. You rise by being ruthless with your standards. The world will not applaud you for this. You will not be celebrated. You will be mocked. They will call you harsh. They will call you cruel. But the man who stands alone with his peace is richer than the man who stands surrounded by chaos disguised as love. Make your choice. If this message hit you in the chest, if something inside you shifted, if you finally understand what no one else had the courage to tell you, then don't scroll away. Take action. Like this video right now. Share it with the men you care about, because you know they need to hear it, too. Subscribe to this channel for more brutal, unapologetic truth you won't hear anywhere else. And if you believe in this mission, if you want to help spread this message to men across the world who are still asleep, support the channel through the link in the description. Because this is not just content. This is a movement. This is a war for the future of men. And those who refuse to wake up will be the ones telling stories of what they lost, while you will be building a life they'll never touch. Make your choice and make it now.